Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got another little menu hover effect for you today. If we hover over our writing up there, it's going to have a little background drop down from the top, and the link's going to change to white in colour. Really easy to do. We've got to do a little bit of coding for this today, but don't let that put you off. Any code I write I'll put below the video. You're welcome to copy it and paste it as you wish. Now, we did another one of these the other day where we had it coming in from the left. Somebody had a great question. They said, well, how do you make it work on a custom menu from the theme builder? And after we built this, I'll show you how to do it on a custom menu if you've got one. It's really easy. Okay, well, let's get started. I'm going to go to my customizer. To do that, go to your dashboard, down to Appearance and Customize. You can also do this in the Theme Options General tab at the bottom there for the CSS, but so we can see what's going on, I'm going to use the Customizer today. That'll bring us to this page. Right at the bottom you'll find additional CSS. Now let's just get rid of this code that I've written here, and let's scoot that out of the way so it doesn't interfere with anything. Fantastic. Okay, so I've just got a title there now. I've taken that away. We'll publish it and refresh. Okay, we're left with a regular Divi menu right there. Alright, well, let's write some code. I'm going to go into the additional CSS again here. I'm going to go down and let's get the actual class name for our menu up here. It's actually going to be a CSS ID. So I'm using Google Chrome with the great inspector tools. Most browsers have this nowadays, but if yours doesn't, Chrome is a free download. I've just right clicked on an element, I've hit inspect, and it's brought up the inspector here. Now yours might be on the right or the left. You can move it with the little three buttons right over there, put it where you want. As long as you've got elements selected on one side, you'll get HTML, and if you've got styles on the other side, you'll get CSS. Okay, so I've inspected this and it's given us a link down here, but that's the link. The list item is the thing we want to affect, and it all comes under the umbrella of an ID called top menu. So we're going to start off with that ID of top menu, and you just double left click on it and copy it if you want to, or just type it in. It's important you get it right. If you get things spelt wrong with coding, it won't work. It's an ID, so it has a hashtag in front of it and then the name, but we actually want to affect the list item below it. So we're going to say top menu list item, because that's actually what we're decorating. And we're going to use what they call a pseudo element. So we're going to lay something behind it. We're going to use the before, so we put two colons in and the word before. Okay, now we can open and close some curly brackets, and inside we can write the code that we want for our little style going on here. Okay, well, the first thing is I'm going to position this thing, and where I put it I want it to stay. So I'm going to say position absolute semicolon. Always put a semicolon on after. If you don't put a semicolon, it will not read the next line of text for us. And what do we want there? Well, we're going to put some content in, which will be a sort of background color. So I'm going to say content and colon. I'm going to open some inverted commas and a semicolon, just to tell it we're going to put something there. Position wise, well, I want it to be top and left of our little list items there. We may have to adjust that a little bit. So I'm going to drop down. I'm going to say top 0 because I want it right at the top. And I'm going to put left 0. I want it to start right from the leftmost side of our little list item there. Now when we initially see it or don't see it, I don't want it to have any height. But until we can actually see it, I'm going to put some height in there. So I'm going to say height. I'm going to try 25 pixels. We can always adjust this in a minute. I know you can't see anything yet because we haven't given it a color. So when I give it a color, you should start to see something. So I'm going to say background. And let's get this blue color I've got here. I've got a color picker, free chrome color picker. I'm going to copy that hex code. And let's put that in here. It's a hex code, so it has a hashtag in front of it. There it is. Let's give it some width. Now we've given it some width, you can see it's coming there. So let's adjust it to where we want it, which is in the middle of our text there. So let's take it back to the left a little bit, margin left, and let's take it back by negative perhaps 7 pixels. That scooted it back a bit. I think we need a little bit more than that. Let's up it to 10 pixels. That looks fairly central to me, maybe 9 pixels. Obviously you adjust yours as you need to. And let's pull it up a bit so that the writing's in the middle of it. So let's put a semicolon there. We're going to say margin top. Let's try 9 pixels again. We can always adjust it. 9 pixels. Need to make that negative to pull it up. Negative 9 pixels. A little bit too much. Looks like 6 pixels is going to do it. And I think we can sort of take that back one more. Yeah, that looks fine. And our last one there doesn't have enough room, so we need to select that one, inspect it, and it's going to be the list item, which is our last child, and there's no padding on there. So if we change this to, I'm just clicking on the number there, let's give it an extra, say 20 pixels on the right there. So 20 pixels. As you can see, that's done it, but we're overriding a style here, so we'll have to force it with important, which is exclamation mark, important. And I can just copy this whole thing from the hashtag to the closing curly bracket there, or we can pop it in down here. Now we've got those covered completely. Now initially I don't want to see any of this blue, so I'm going to take that height away. So I'm going to make the height 0 pixels. Great. Now let's create a hover state. And to create the hover state, we'll copy our CSS ID up here, the whole thing. I'm going to roll down a bit, and we'll create the hover state for it now. And to turn this into a hover state, just after the list item, I'm going to put one more colon, no gap there, and the word hover. We've now got a hover state on this, so we can open and close some curly brackets and put in our content here. So let's put height. I think we were using 25 pixels, so we'll say 25 pixels. Now when I hover over, it's popping in, but you can't really see it's fading down from the top because it's popping in absolutely instantly. So to slow it down a bit, let's add a bit of transition duration, and we had that in the regular state, not the hover state. So back into the regular state, make sure we got a semicolon there. We'll drop down transition, and it's popped it up there. We can click on it, the prompt, colon. Let's give it half a second, or let's give it 0.6 of a second. Let's say 0.6s for 0.6 of a second, semicolon. Now when I hover over it, it's actually coming in from the top there. You can see it coming down, which is great. And obviously if you want to slow it down more than that, you can do. Okay, well, we want to turn the actual link itself white, or at least the color that we can see better under that. I'm going to use white for that today. And that's the link. So it's going to be the top menu A. So let's copy the top menu. We'll drop down. And it's the top menu anchor link, anchor tag, all right there, the link. So it's top menu A, but we only want it on hover. So right after the A, with no gap, we're going to say colon and the word hover. Open and close some curly brackets. And I'm going to say color white, which is hashtag FFF. Now when we hover over, it's going to turn white. That doesn't look like a full white to me. I think the opacity's down on that. So to override the opacity, let's say opacity. Opacity is transparency or see-throughness, if you will. I want it to be 1, and it goes from 0 to 1 in increments of 0.1, 0.2, different variations on transparency. But I've got to force this because we're overriding the style again, so I've got to use important again. Let's put a semicolon in there. There, that's nice and bright now. So there we go, guys. We've got our little custom content. Let's publish this and check the page. Quick refresh. And there we go. We've got our drop down menu backgrounds there. Okay, like I say, we had a question that anybody that's doing it with a customizer, with a custom menu. Let's go back to our dashboard. And I'll quickly pop a custom menu in there. To do that, you need to go down to Divi Theme Builder. Let's add a global header. And I think I've got one saved, so I'm going to hit the little blue button and add from the library. There we go, and I can get rid of this section up the top. Okay, so we just got a little custom menu here with a logo on the left and the actual menu module right here. What I'm going to do is going to go into the menu module in the middle there. Dark tab for the module, green tab for a row, and blue tab for a section. Let's go over and we're going to give this a CSS ID of its own. So let's call it custom menu, whatever you want to call yours. So we're giving it a new CSS ID of custom menu. Let's copy that, Control C, and we'll save it. Now let's save our changes here to apply our menu to the top of the site. Exit out, make sure everything's saved here. Now let's go back to our page and refresh it. And our hover effect's not working because we've now got a different menu up here. So we gave our menu a class of custom menu. So all we need to do, actually we gave it an ID of custom menu. So let's take this away. We'll refresh this page again. So we've got the new menu up there. Back down to our additional CSS, there's our new menu. And we gave this the new ID of custom menu. So all we need to do is replace everything that says top menu with custom menu. So there's the hashtag. Make sure you don't cut off the hashtag, and we'll just swap that out for our custom menu. Swap this one out for our custom menu. We'll publish the changes. Now we've got our little hover effect on our custom menu here. Looks like we've got to adjust that padding a bit. Looks like we don't need that 10 pixels on the left. There we go, that works fine. So if you've got a custom menu, that's how to adjust it and add it to your custom menu. So I hope that answers that question for you. So there you go, guys. That's how to create a custom downward menu effect for your Divi site. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.